Almighty God, creator and ruler of heaven and earth, we beseech thee to inspire and guide all our counsels and actions, so that we may always walk in the path of justice, love, and charity to one another. Help us with thy grace to do only those things that will promote the unity, peace, happiness, and prosperity of Nigeria. I pledge to Nigeria, my country, to be faithful, loyal, and honest, to serve Nigeria with all my strength, to defend her unity, and uphold her honor and glory. So help me God. But it won't disturb us. It won't disturb us. It's just to receive them. It won't disturb us. So this room must be ready. They're going to be using this whole Europe. Honorable Ken, you're welcome. Is Honorable Olawoye here? Honorable Tuji Olawoye, please approach the chair. Honorable members, I have examined and approved the votes and proceedings of Thursday, 22nd September 2022. Honorable colleagues, the sad news of Deputy Speaker's brother's passing came to us whilst we were over the weekend. The Deputy Speaker is presently in Jos with the family. We commiserate with the family and will rise for a minute's silence. May his soul rest in peace. Do we have any petitions? Public petition? Go ahead. Your mic.
Thank you.
We've been waiting for you since we resumed.
Gladly, sir. Thank you, sir. Gladly I'm back, sir. Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues. My name is Honorable Haruna Isa Dederi, representing Karai Logo Federal Constituency. I'm from Kano State. Sir, I have 3 petitions to present. The first is from a law firm, Chris and Chris Associates, on behalf of owners of shops and plazas built along Dede Gwagwa Road, and the petitioners are asking for the intervention of this honorable house because they are facing threats of demolition from the FCDA, and they have all documents backing the development. The second one is from Inspector Ezekiel Bagau, and it is against the Police Service Commission. He has alleged that he has been unlawfully dismissed from service, and he requests the intervention of this House for his reinstatement. The last one is from the Sunday Itari family, and it has been jointly signed by Mr. Sunday Itari on behalf of the family and Mr. Eruni Veryboy, who is the secretary of their organization. And they are bringing this petition, sir, against Shell Petroleum Development Company for forceful entry and malicious damage to their properties. And they require the intervention of this House. Sir, I request your leave to lay the petitions.
Yes, Honorable Dederi, you will present your 3 petitions. Your petitions refer to the Committee on Public Petitions. Honorable Dati, you have a motion? Oh, sorry, there's another petition. Sorry, go ahead.
Thank you very much, the Right Honorable Speaker, my distinguished honorable colleagues. I'm Representative Ibrahim Ayo Kunle Isiaka. I speak for and on behalf of the very good people of Ifo, Ewekuru Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Ogun State. I have before me a petition from my immediate federal constituency titled Petition Against 1. The Inspector General of Police, 2. Assistant Inspector General of Police, 4. CID Alagbon, and 3. Officers of the DCP X-Squad Team, 4. CID Alagbon, Lagos State, led by 1 DSP Dele Ajibade, for shielding the 5 police officers that participated in the gruesome murder of Mr. Ariyo Tosin Olamide from prosecution. Mr. Speaker, this unfortunate incident has practically slipped the entire family into depression, and I want to appeal you allow me to lay this petition, and should be given an expeditious and accelerated hearing for dispense of justice in this very case, Mr. Speaker. The mother of the deceased have been chased away from the family compound. The girlfriend of the deceased attempted to commit suicide twice because the fiancé was tagged an armed robber by the police. Then the police later came around to beg them and say that they should forgive them, but this should go to the public. So Mr. Speaker, please allow me to lay this petition before you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, honorable members, for calling Honorable Isiaka to order. Honorable Isiaka, you may lay your petition. Any other petition? Honorable Isiaka's petition referred to the Committee on Public Petitions. Honorable Dati, please.
Including the House Leader. Urgent need for the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing to direct the contractor to immediately resume construction of Abuja-Kaduna Expressway. Recall, the House recall.
Hold on. So, first of all, we need to know what the motion is.
Okay, Mr. Speaker, the motion is about the Kaduna Express Highway, which the construction is going on, Julius Berger decided to park its personnel and equipment in the Jere Kaduna portion of the road. So it has become a very serious problem.
All right. I think I discussed this with you just for the benefit of members. Ordinarily, on the face of it, this is not a motion of urgent public importance, but as defined in our rules, on the face of it. But Honorable Dati was able to go into detail and explain to me the security implications of that motion. If you look at it, it's an infrastructure motion, it should come on notice. It should come on notice. But I haven't heard the details on why it is being brought. We decided we'll take an exception and take it. So,
Mr. Speaker, you can also see reason why he smuggled in my name to take the sympathy of my good members, that the House Leader is on it.
I was going to mention...
I thank you, please. I thank you, please, my colleagues.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for this gesture.
So that is the motion. So we'll put the question.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry. Yes, sorry. Princess, second.
Federal Constituency. I am from Imo State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I rise to second this motion of urgent public importance. I so second.
Okay, those in favor, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Honorable Dati Garba, please move your motion.
The Honorable Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, SAN, announced that the Federal Executive Council had approved the contract for the rehabilitation of Abuja-Kaduna-Zaria-Kano Expressway among other approvers, with a delivery date of December 2022. Equally recalls that the Honorable Minister announced that the firm, which had initially been contracted to undertake the rehabilitation of the road, Julius Berger PLC, will also be responsible for the reconstruction of the road. Further recalls that following concerning incessant and rampant incident of banditry along the Abuja-Kaduna highway, the contractor withdrew its workers from the road for security reasons. Notes that at the time of the withdrawal by the contractor, at least one half of the stretch of the road had been graded and covered only in laterite, which after the intense rainfall of the past few months has given way to gouges and potholes that have left the road unmotorable and severely slowed down traffic, such that journey that will ordinarily last 1.5 hours now took 3 hours to complete. Further notes that because of the current condition of the road, it only takes for a vehicle or a truck to break down on it for a few minutes, and it will result in a build-up to static traffic. The stress that this was exactly what happened on the road, that is, a truck broke down on the road, as a result of which there was massive gridlock on the road, and this gridlock was cleared only after about 5 days. Distrust that, to worsen matters, the gridlock that was occasioned recently often left motorists and commuters stranded on the road, sometimes for between 6 to 9 hours on a journey that should last not more than 1.5 hours. Anxious that there is a high probability that this gridlock will become a very recurrent occurrence in the immediate future. Wary that although the security situation has recently vastly improved along that stretch of road, gridlock on it still exposes commuters held up in it to a probability of bandits and terrorist attacks with their attendant loss of lives and property. Mindful that the Abuja-Kaduna highway is gateway between north and south of Nigeria and the major link road to the northwest and northeastern, as well as neighboring countries. Equally mindful that the Abuja-Kaduna highway is the key outlet for transportation of persons, commodity, goods across Nigeria, and this is evident in the extraordinary traffic on it. Worried that the situation on the Abuja-Kaduna highway has become a debilitating drawback for the Nigerian economy that, if not immediately rectified, spells doom for the economy and social life of Nigerians, contrary to Section 15, subsection 1 of the Constitution, which mandates the Nigerian state to provide adequate facilities for and encourage free mobility of people, goods, and services throughout Nigeria, as well as Section 41, subsection 1, which guarantees the right to freedom of movement throughout Nigeria to every Nigerian. Determine that the aforementioned circumstances have made it urgent that the contractor, Julius Berger PLC, be immediately brought back to site to complete this phase of the contract, especially the stretch between Jere and Kaduna. The House resolved to call on the Honorable Minister of Works and Housing to urgently and without further delay direct the contractor, Julius Berger PLC, to immediately return to the site and complete its reconstruction works, starting with the Jere-Kaduna stretch. Call on the federal government to deploy the military personnel and material resources, as well as intelligence necessary to secure the Kaduna-Abuja Expressway to enable the contractor resume work without risk to personnel and equipment. And finally, to mandate the House Committee on Works to liaise with the Minister of Works and Housing, as well as the heads of relevant security agencies towards ensuring the implementation of our above resolution and report to the House within 3 weeks. I so move. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Silence, please. Silence, please. Honorable Kalambana, take your seat. Honorable Kalambana, take your seat.
Any seconder? Honorable Maki.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My honorable colleagues, I am Abubakar Maki Leman. I'm from Jigawa State. I represent Malamudori Kaugama Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion heavily moved by my senior colleague. I so second. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
So we'll just put a question. I think it's a straightforward motion. There's no need to debate it. Those in favor, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Honorable Zakaria Galadima.
Your Excellency, my Speaker, my distinguished honorable colleagues, Zakaria Galadima is my name. Member representing Bode Jakusko, I'm from Yobe State. Mr. Speaker, I stand.
Please, honorable members, please, let's have some silence, please.
Order
Please.
8 Rule 4, matter of urgent public importance. Mr. Speaker, sir. And the matter is a deliberate killing of Sheikh Gwani Mohammed Aisami by men of the Nigerian army.
Silence, please. Silence, please. Honorable Uno Bem. Honorable Uno Bem. Honorable Uno Bem, you are distracting this. He's not the one now.
Are you done? Okay.
Honorable Uno Bem.
Have you finished with the seconder? Yes. Honorable Olodo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. I remain Honorable Olodo Cook Abdugani, representative of Ilori East Ilori Southern constituency. I'm from state of Kwara State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion. It will be raised by my colleagues. I so second.
Honorable Kalambana, your time is up, please. Honorable Kalambana.
Those in favor, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Honorable Galadima, please move your motion.
Galadima. House note the brutal and deliberate killing of Sheikh Mohammed Goni Aisami by men of the Nigerian Army at attack 241 Reki Battalion, Muru, Yobe State. Aware that the said Sheikh Goni Mohammed, an Islamic cleric, was traveling from Kano to Gashua town in Yobe State. Also aware that the cleric gave a ride to one Corporal John Gabriel. But on their way to Jajimaji, a village along Gashua town, where the said Corporal Gabriel said he was going to ease himself, alleged that the corporal drew the Islamic scholars' attention to an unusual noise at the car, rear side of the car.
Silence, please. Silence, please.
Cleric to stop. Further aware that when the cleric came down to check the tires, Corporal Gabriel allegedly brought out his rifle and shot him to death. Again aware that after killing the cleric, Corporal Gabriel made efforts to drive the vehicle, but it refused to start. After which he invited one Corporal Adamu Gideon on phone to assist him in towing the vehicle. Acknowledge the efforts of a passerby who alerted the Nigerian police personnel from Jajimaji, who promptly mobilized to the scene and subsequently arrested the two suspects, Corporal John Gabriel and Corporal Adamu Gideon. Recall that the two suspects were at the material time serving men of the Nigerian Army. The staff that the killing of the said cleric was unjustifiably barbaric without any cause, and therefore his family deserves momentary compensation. Appreciate the prompt response of the military authority, for after the proper military trial of the two men, dismissed them accordingly. Cognizant that after the dismissal, they were handed over to the police authority for trial before a competent court of jurisdiction. Desirous of the need for the police authority to liaise with the Yobe State Ministry of Justice to arraign the two dismissed personnel men without delay, request the Yobe State Judiciary to handle the case of the two dismissed military men with speedy in its request just as the Kano State High Court handled the murder of case of late Hanifa Abubakar. Also request the federal government through the Nigerian Army to pay monetary compensation to the family of deceased victims, since the dismissed army men admitted to having caused the death of Sheikh Mohammed Goni. Resolve: condemn in strongest terms the barbaric and deliberate killing of Sheikh Goni Mohammed. Urge the Yobe State government to commence without further delay the trial of Corporal John Gabriel and Corporal Adamu Gideon. Also urge the federal government through the Nigerian Army to pay monetary compensation of blood of late Sheikh Goni Mohammed Aisami in the sum of 100,802,000 naira only. Mandate the Committee on Army to ensure compliance and report back within 6 weeks for further legislative action. I so move.
Any seconder? Honorable Kabir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues. I remain Honorable Kabir Idris, member representing Kura Madobi Garumal and Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Kano State, and I rise to support this very important measure. I so support, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Okay.
Silence, please. Silence, please.
Do you go ahead and put the question? Honorable Olariwaju.
Mr. Speaker, I am Ibrahim Kunle-Olariwaju. I represent the entire people of Moba. Idosi, the Federal Constituency. I am from Ekiti State. Mr. Speaker, I come under Order 8, Rule 4. Mr. Speaker, my worry is that is this motion qualified for us to be taken now as a matter of urgent public importance? Why do I say this, Mr. Speaker? It is pertinent for us to take attention of what happened to our people. But, Mr. Speaker, this matter is already in public glance. The said officer has been given court martial, arraigned in high court, and it's already been tried. Mr. Speaker, as a matter of fact, apart from that, the fact that this Allo chamber cannot discuss a matter already in court, which is already a sub judice, does it qualify as a matter of urgent public importance? I beg to say, Mr. Speaker, it does not. The officer in charge has been given, given disciplinary action by the Nigerian Army, sent to police for investigation, and is being tried. I therefore beg to disagree that this motion be taken now, because we cannot place something on nothing. The basis for our action is that the Nigerian Army should act. The Nigerian Army has acted. They've even gone beyond that. Police has acted. Even gone beyond that. Ministry has acted. It is therefore, in my view, Mr. Speaker, totally outside our purview and outside our jurisdiction now to begin to discuss an issue which already is sub judice. Mr. Speaker, that's my submission.
Honorable Munir. Then I'll come to Honorable Maki. Honorable Munir. 1 second.
Thank you, honorable colleagues. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Munir Babatan Agundi. I represent Kumbota Federal Constituency of Kano State. Let me draw the attention of the House. A similar incident or a similar motion was taken last week, Mr. Speaker, on Wednesday, the 21st of September 2022. In that motion, if you look at the votes and proceedings brought by Honorable Alasalurum on the murder case by one Chinese, he came to mislead the House by saying that the police did not act for 5 days. The murder was committed on Friday, 16th, Saturday, 17th, Sunday, 18th, Monday, 19th. On 20th, I have an evidence. This is the FIR. The man was charged to court on 20th, and this was the charge.
Okay, wait, Honorable Munir, actually, okay, you are speaking to a motion that was brought last week.
Yes, sir.
Which is the same thing as,
similar,
your objection is the
yes,
same
I
as
want the House to be guided so that we go by our rules. Order 9, Rule 1, Sub-Rule 5, Mr. Speaker. And then beyond that, in our own case.
Okay, I think let's speak to this particular motion.
Yes.
On that one that you're talking about, I think you can ask to, since we have already put the question and that has already gone, that was last week. The only thing we can do is to rescind our decision, if the House agrees with you.
Yes.
So I think you will have to bring that either by way of substantive motion or ask that we suspend our rules to allow you to bring a motion for rescission now, after we have taken this.
Yes, sir.
Do you understand what I'm saying? I agree with you, it's the same thing. But the circumstances are different. That one has already been taken last week.
Okay.
The only proper procedure now to bring that up is to rescind that motion, which we can do today if we agree. But let's on this, so you are saying that on this particular motion, you are agreeing with Honorable Olarewaju that the matter is in court and it's really something we shouldn't be debating. Is that what you're saying? Okay. All right. Honorable Maki.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My honorable colleagues, I remain Abubakar Maki Eleman. I'm from Jigawa State. I represent Malamudori Kaugama Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, the issue that they raised, we are not disputing Order 8, Rule 4(3) said any member who has an urgent matter should raise by the leave of the Speaker a unanimous agreement in which the mover of the motion has done that and the House agreed. And then now, even Honorable Manir Baba is saying the prayers. The man moving the motion is from that constituency. He knows the situation of the family of the late Sheikh. That was he make it to be an urgent issue, and in which we all agree and we accept it, Mr. Speaker. So based on that, I think I call the attention of our honorable colleagues to support this motion for an urgent matter to be moved. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I so move.
There were two legs or issues raised by Honorable Olarewaju. So you have addressed one issue on whether or not it is urgent enough. The other issue still pends, the issue of the court. Yes. Honorable Kuye.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name remains Ademoni Kuye. I speak for the good people of Shomolu Federal Constituency, and I'm from Lagos State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to support the motion as moved by Honorable Olarewaju to the effect that, number one, from the fact deposed to by the mover of the original motion, and from the date that the incident happened, there is no more urgency in the matter. And therefore, the motion does not qualify to be taken as a matter of urgent public importance in view of the time of the incident. That's number one. Number two, sir. Order 9, Rule 1, Sub-Rule 5 reads, reference shall not be made to any matter on which a judicial decision is pending. Honorable Olarewaju, as a member standing inside his chambers on his integrity, has informed the Parliament that the matter is sub judice. If this is so, and we are supposed to follow and respect our own rules. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, this matter should be stepped down and wait for the outcome of the court decision with respect to the same matter, sir. I so moved. I so second, sir.
Leader, do you have an opinion on this matter?
Mr. Speaker, sir.
Are you awake?
I'm sure you will not assume that I should have any opinion contrary to the rules of this great house. Whatever we have as our rules and regulations of our proceedings, I am so guided, and I don't think any other member can go against that. That's just my opinion. Thank you.
Honorable Galadima, what was your prayer? What was your prayer, Honorable Galadima?
Condemn in strongest terms barbaric and deliberate killing of Sheikh Wani Mohammed. That's prayer 1. 2. Urge the Yobe State government to commence without further delay the trial of Corporal John Gabriel and Adamu Gideon. Trial.
Sorry, the governor, please let me hear the prayer very well. That the governor of Yobe should do what? The governor of Yobe to do what?
The government of Yobe to commence trial.
I can't hear what he's saying, please.
The government of Yobe State to commence trial, Mr. Speaker.
Let me hear what he's saying.
Eh?
Go ahead.
Okay, then. Yes. 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 Then the third prayer.
I didn't hear the second. I need to hear.
The second prayer, Mr. Speaker. Urge the Yobe State government to commence trial without further delay.
Okay. Then the third.
Then the third. Ask the federal government through the Nigerian army to pay monetary compensation for the blood of Sheikh Wani Mohammed.
Okay.
Then
you have one more.
Then the fourth, Mr. Speaker. Then the fourth prayer, mandate the House Committee on Army to ensure compliance and report back.
All right. Let me, Honorable Kuye, when you read your Order 9, Rule 5, you did Rule 1.5, you only read a portion of it. You did not read the whole provision. So let me read or do you want to read the whole provision? Because the part you left out says that, well, let me read the whole thing. Reference shall not be made to any matter on which a judicial decision is pending in such a way as might, in the Speaker's opinion, prejudice the interests of the parties thereto. So at the end of the day, everything boils down to what is prejudicial in one's opinion. So it's not absolute that if a matter is in court, we cannot talk about it. There's nothing like that. But it guides us, our rules guides us that try not to talk about it, particularly if it's going to be prejudicial, if in the Speaker's opinion it's going to be prejudicial. That's why I asked Honorable Zachariah to read his prayers. And from the reading of the prayers, the most important prayer, which is federal government should immediately pay compensation, preempts the outcome of the court decision. If we say federal government should immediately pay, and the court decides otherwise, what happens to our decision here? So it is that prayer for me that is a problem. I don't think any other prayer about it. It's that prayer that is a problem. The second one, that the language is what is important. You can urge the state government, you cannot compel the state government. So you can plead with the state government to do whatever it is you're saying they should do. That is left to the state government to decide, because under our constitutional law, we cannot, we have separation of powers both amongst the three arms of government, horizontal and also vertical. We cannot compel the state government to do what is only in their own powers. So if we can expunge that last prayer, it's possible that, in my opinion, it is not prejudicial.
Mr. Speaker.
But if we leave that last prayer, then it is prejudicial to the outcome. Oh, now you have an opinion, leader. I thought you said you didn't have an opinion. Let's hear your opinion.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. My respected honorable colleagues, I remain Honorable Ado Dogwa, representing Tudunwada Dogwa Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I am from Kano State. Mr. Speaker, I would like to very respectfully say that every one of us here knows that you are a very diplomatic presiding officer. So you are only trying to be diplomatic with my friend in respect of this motion on the floor of this House. I want to say with all honesty and with due respect to my very good friend that this motion on the floor right away deserves squarely the same treatment that we accorded to the last motion. One, it is honestly a prejudicial matter, very prejudicial. It's before the court. Two, one of the key prayers he's bringing up is to do with another government, a government that we do not have constitutional jurisdiction over to direct or compel to do that thing. So whatever action we're likely to take, even though I do sympathize with the victim, I sympathize with him as a representative from that constituency, but honestly, any further legislative action to be taken on the floor of this House today will simply amount to a nullity in action. So I would like to, without imputing words into your mouth, sir, that honorable Speaker, honorable members, this motion deserves a kill. Let's kill it and go up and go ahead, please. It should not be here. Thank you.
The very undiplomatic leader has spoken, but are there any other honorable, the minority leader? You have an amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I remain Honorable Ndode Godwin Delumbelu, and I represent the good people of Anocho Shimili Federal Constituency. I'm from Delta State. Mr. Speaker, this motion is like that of, this motion can be likened to that of the issue of members sponsoring bill to establish schools in their various constituencies. When a member brings a motion, there's an intent. There is something that member is trying to cure in his constituency. Zachariah brought up a motion because there is an abnormality as it relates to one of his constituents. Even though his prayers do not tally with what it should be on the floor. But I feel that even that third prayer, what should be asked is to delete it and ask, plead with federal government in the interim to take care of the family of the deceased pending the determination of the case in court. That will solve the issue and the motion will fly. This is my submission.
So you are diplomatic like me.
I am diplomatic like you.
Leader.
I am diplomatic like you. Because what he's trying to do, if he doesn't do it, he will be crucified for being on this floor without raising an issue that borders on somebody that has been unjustly killed.
And your constituents don't want to hear whether it complies with your rules or not. Eh?
Exactly. So I so submit.
That's your amendment.
Yes, that's my amendment.
Honorable Buba Yusuf, do you want to second?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm Yusuf Buba Yakub. I represent Gombe Home Federal Constituency from Adamawa State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion moved by the minority leader that the federal government give an interim support to the families of the deceased. I so second.
Okay, we have an amendment. We have an amendment on the floor by the minority leader, seconded by Honorable Buba Yusuf, Adamawa State. Those in favor of the amendment that all the prayers be deleted and a single prayer urging the federal government that pending the outcome of the trial, they should, whatever the family, take care of the family, is the only prayer standing now if adopted. So those in favor of that amendment, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. The ayes have it. So now we'll go to the motion itself. Those in favor of the motion as amended, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable
Galadima, Zachary, I will call for rescission. 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 Rescission.
Honorable Munir, I believe yours is a motion for rescission. Huh? Okay, well, anyway, go ahead.
Thank you. My name is Honorable Munir Babata Agundi. I represent Kumbota Peda constituency of Kano State. Your Speaker, Mr. Speaker, sir, honorable colleagues, I am coming under two orders. Order 6, Rule 4, on matters of privilege. And then, before that, I will indulge the House to suspend the rule under Order 8, Rule 4, to take the decision that was reached by last week on the 21st of 9th, 2022. Mr. Speaker,
Yeah, go ahead, please.
I want to move that we suspend our rule order 8 rule so that I will be able to take this motion as a matter of urgent national importance. Mr. Speaker, I so move.
Honorable Munir.
Yes, sir.
Honorable Munir, you are asking that we suspend our rules,
yes,
to allow for a rescission,
yes,
of our earlier ruling last week.
yes,
Correct? So the first leg of your application is suspension of our rules for that purpose.
yes, sir.
Those in any seconder? Seconder. Chibok.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, Ameja Ababao is my name. I represent Chibok, Dambua, and Goza Federal Constituency. I rise to second a motion ably moved by my senior colleague, Honorable Manir Rang Agundi, Chairman House Committee on Agric. I so second. Thank you.
Those in favor of the suspension of the rules for the motion for rescission to be taken now without any notice, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Honorable Munir, move your motion that we rescind and then we'll go ahead and debate it. Honorable, in the interest of time, let's assume that you've already moved the motion because it was to suspend. Let's just merge everything together. Let's assume you've moved the motion because it's already 1 o'clock. Now go into the merits on why you want us to rescind and what you want us to rescind.
Okay, sir. I hereby move that the motion on the need to investigate the gruesome murder of Olmo Kalsum Buhari by a Chinese national, Mr. Geng Gorong in Kano State. I move that this House rescind its decision based on our rule on Order 9, Rule 1, Sub Rule 5, because the mover of the motion, I'm sorry to say, has misguided the House by being economical with the truth. The case has been charged to court on the 20th 9th, 2022, which I have the FIR here, and the charge, and the motion was brought on 21st. And this has generated a lot of controversy, also to castigate all members from Kano State, especially Law and Kenken, in which the murder was case happened in his constituency by people coming to abuse all the members of Kano State, that I, Munir Babatan Agundi, has raised a motion against what Honorable Alasa Rurum has brought before the House. And my reason at that time, Mr. Speaker, we have had many cases which the state government and the police has done a lot. In that case, the man was charged on Tuesday, and the murder was committed on Friday. They did all they can by the Ministry of Justice and the police. And for somebody to come and say that it has taken a lot of time to do justice to this case, that was not the case. And we have had many cases, Mr. Speaker. I want to draw the attention of this House that we have had a case of State versus Abdul Malik Tanko, whereby a 4-year-old girl was kidnapped and killed by one teacher called Abdul Malik and 2 others. As I am talking to you, that case has been disposed within 3-4 months, and they were sentenced to death by hanging. So we need to commend the police in Kano and the Ministry of Justice. So, Mr. Speaker, this is the point of correction why I want the House to rescind its decision, because it is not fair for us to come here and say we should go and investigate. And also, the mover of the motion has said that 5 days the police have not acted. It is not the case. He was economical with the truth. So this is the position of things, and that is why I want the House to rescind its decision. And in that case of Ummul Khartoum, which is more pathetic, a 4-year-old girl was killed. Already the case has been taken care by the police and the Ministry of Justice, and there was no need for us to bring it to the attention of the House because justice has been done.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable Jaha, you want to second the substantive motion for the rescission? Excuse me, please. Jaha, yes. Do you want to second or not? You seconded for the suspension. Okay. Any seconder? Honorable Buba. Leader, I thought you were sleeping.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Yusuf Buba Yakub, representing Gombe Home Federal Constituency. I rise to second the motion moved by Honorable Munir. I so second.
Speaker.
Thank you. I believe Honorable Munir has already led the debate.
Yes, sir.
Are we speaking for or against?
Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker.
Hold on.
Is not cooperating. My name is Bamidele Salam. I represented the north and the south of Bedore Federal Constituency of Osun State. Mr. Speaker, I just want to draw attention to something very fundamental on this motion for decision which ranking member has raised. In the presentation he made before this House, he made some references to the mover of the motion. That's Right Honorable Al-Hassan Rurum from Kano State. And ordinarily, Mr. Speaker, this is a motion that ought to have come on notice. But granted, he was able to secure the leave of the House to move the motion. That, if it had been on notice, would have put the mover of the motion himself on notice of the fact that this kind of a motion for rescission of his motion was going to be raised on the floor. And in moving the motion, he made a few unsavory comments also about him, saying that he misled the House, he was also economic with the truth. Mr. Speaker, in that case, I think equity demands that we hear from the mover of the motion, who unfortunately is not in plenary today. And I think as a chamber which respects the Constitution of Nigeria, of course with guarantees that we should have fair hearing for everyone, I want to submit that it will not be very proper for this motion to be carried without hearing from Honorable Hassan Rurum, who was the mover of the motion in the first instance, especially on the fact that he has made a few comments which seems to impugn on the character of the Right Honorable. That's my submission, Mr. Speaker.
Deputy Whip.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I am Kiru Kaonye Georgia. I represent the good people of Isikwatu Munoj Federal Constituency. I am from Abia State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, without inputting motives and partially agreeing with the honorable colleague that spoke last, I want to point out something. The day that motion was moved, Honorable Munin raised an objection which didn't pass. He spoke against the motion. And then in law, it seems he has bias already on the motion. And he is coming for rescission. And I want to say something here. We are the parliament. We are representing Nigerians. We are not on any side. We are here for justice and to protect the integrity of the House. And I believe that this motion was debated and was it was passed and was sent to the committee that will handle it. So my take, personally, is that if Honorable Munil, he's a ranking member and he's well experienced, have some issues that he needed the committee to address, he should approach the committee, because there's nothing injurious in allowing the motion to stay, because what we ask for is investigation. And investigation includes what he's just telling us now. So I believe that the committee should go ahead and do their work and then get back to the House and say, okay, X, Y, Z have been done. We are not supposed to go into the matter because already it's in court. So if we allow a window that somebody is not happy with the motion, you're against it, and then you come for rescission, that means we'll go ahead and be rescinding and rescinding and rescinding. So I believe that the committee should.
Thank you. Leader. Point of order? Who has the point of order? What's your point of order? Order 8. What page?
On this motion should be carried.
Can you read the order again, please? If you can allow us to listen to ourselves, can you read the order again? I mean the rule, yeah.
The rule, sir, Rule 13 says, a motion, the mic is on. Page 38, Mikey, page 38. Your own is analog. It's an old one. A motion or an amendment may be withdrawn at the request of the mover or by leave of the House or committee before the commencement of the debate. Mr. Speaker, sir, I want to urge this House in the spirit of joint tax to, as a matter of honor, allow fair hearing and, of course, the input of the original mover of the motion. That is Right Honorable Ruru,
before this decision is taken to rescind it, as moved by him last week. That's my prayer, Mr. Speaker.
First of all, I don't think that rule is applicable because it talks about amendments. This is not a motion for amendment. This is a motion for rescission. And the mover of the motion that you referred to, the mover of the motion is different from Honorable Munir in this case. You are talking about the mover of the motion itself that seeks to be amended. Honorable Munir is a different person. He's not the mover of that motion. He is just moving for rescission. And the issue of, I don't want us to open the floodgate here, where there is a rescission, and I understand Honorable Bamidele's point very well. I don't want us to extend the meaning of fair hearing to cover every possibility, even including when facts are before the House and the mover of the original motion is not present. Therefore, he must be given fair hearing when facts or things are brought before the House. So it means that we may have to wait in perpetuity for an original mover to come before we can rescind the motion. I don't think that's the intent of rescission. And it's not a personal thing. Rescission is based on facts or new evidence or whatever. And many people debated that motion here so they can speak to it on behalf of the original mover of the motion. That motion was thoroughly debated here. At least we've had close to about 15 people contributing to that motion. So any one of them here that wants to oppose it, can oppose it even in the absence of the original mover of the motion, unless that motion is personal to the original mover. The leader of the House was about to speak before the point of order.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. My very respected colleagues. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I think let me start this way. I remember when the matter was brought up here to be made a motion, like it is rightly made now, you asked me whether I had an opinion against it. I said I couldn't have had any opinion against what is said to be the observance of our rules and regulations. Yes, leader of the 9th House of Reps, but I cannot lead over and above our rules. So that was why I said, let our rules prevail. But you can also remember, sir, all of us here, with the exception of our diplomatic speaker, all of us here are very good friends of Honorable Gudaji Kazore, who can do like this and do like this as well. So I rise to do like this and like this in this matter because, Mr. Speaker, I want to cash on your diplomatic spirit today. I also want to cash on the very friendly and diplomatic spirit of the House members today as well. This motion, sir, has a lot in similarity with the motion that we have taken from my very good brother from Yobe State, Honorable Zachary Galadima. In the spirit of our coexistence here, as brothers keepers, Mr. Speaker, a motion was brought here. No matter what exigencies of the fact before us that time, at least we have passed this bill. So for any one of us here to rise and call on the House to rescind in total the passage of that bill, Mr. Speaker, I think we are only trying to be unfair, and it's like we are going to create an injury against the mover of the motion. I have got no political business with the mover of the motion. I have equal relationship with the two members as members from my state, sir. Mr. Speaker, I want to refer the House to the terms of the motion that we passed that day here, Mr. Speaker. And on the basis of my first foundation, that let us accommodate ourselves and also make sure we are in tandem with continuous precedents that we are setting on the floor of the House, sir. I said the motion in question now has similarities with the motion of Honorable Galadima for the fact that, yes, it involved lives. Yes, the House has business to discuss lives of our people. Where my very good brother, Honorable Munir, was coming from, which is a fact that you cannot fight, perhaps might be on the issue of the House set up an ad hoc committee to visit, commiserate with the immediate family of the deceased, the people of Kano State, and the investigation component of the bill. Investigation, no, because it might be prejudicial. To go to Kano and do these things, perhaps the State Assembly should have done that on behalf of this House, because we work in at least in parliamentary relationship. The State Assembly could have done that for us. But Mr. Speaker, I want to say that Honorable Munir should rather come by way of asking amendments to look at the prayers passed on this motion, to amend those areas that are not only critical but can be amended to be able to accommodate the very good intent of the mover of the motion, who is one of us, sir. For instance, if you ask for rescission, you are asking for total reversal of what you did. Mr. Speaker, is it going to be fair, my respected colleagues, is it going to be fair for us to reverse the 1 minute silence we passed here in recognition of the life lost? We cannot declare that one. Mr. Speaker, we said in the motion, urge the Inspector General of Police to direct for thorough investigation in the gruesome murder. We will say, oh, Inspector General of Police, stop investigation. There are some elements in the prayers that were passed here that can be accepted here and sustained. So I want to advise and seek the support of the House that let us not rescind this motion in total, but look at the prayers. Perhaps when the mover is back on the floor, we look at the prayers, amend them, or we go by the principle you have raised, that we don't have to wait until he comes, the House can speak for him, and make amendments on those parts of the motions which can be amended, but sustain those good parts of the motion. So the mover should come for amendment, not for complete rescission or reversal of some of the good intent of the motion, which will amount to like throwing the bathwater along with the baby. Mr. Speaker, I rise to speak this in all honesty, and I hope the House will be guided in the spirit of our togetherness and coexistence, that every member here, whether he's on the floor or out, we should rise and speak for him in the circumstances of what is the truth. You can now see, this is a House that is controlled by more than 2/3 majority of my party. I moved for my position and opinion, but a minority member who commands the allegiance of only few members here got up, brought up an idea which superseded my own, and the whole House agreed to go with the minority leader. I want us to look at this from this spirit, sir. Please let us not rescind this motion, but look at it and make necessary amendment and sustain it, sir. Thank you, and may God guide us.
Thank you, Leader of the House. I think we were even on the same page. Yes. Let's not waste too much time on this. That was my thinking as well. So the question really for me is whether or not our rules allow for rescission, or if you have 3-4 prayers, does it mean you have to rescind the whole decision, or can you rescind 1 or 2 of the prayers and leave the remaining standing? That to me is the question. And if you look at our rules, it doesn't exactly categorically say, but you can interpret it to say that you can rescind, take out a part of the prayers and leave the rest to stand. Whether or not that part is prejudicial to a case in court, I think an investigation. We must understand one thing, and maybe we can lay that precedent now, Leader of the House. Leader of the House. I think we can establish that, or lay that precedent now, that where our rules say that we cannot look into a matter that is in court if it is prejudicial, I think it is clear that an investigation when a matter is on trial is prejudicial. Not everything is prejudicial, but an investigation. So if you look at it that way, and you look at it also from the constitutional point of view, that on the concept of separation of powers, the judiciary is already investigating. That's what a trial is. The judiciary is investigating. The House too is now investigating. We make a nonsense of if the two rulings are contradictory. If at the end of the day our investigation says this, and then the judiciary says this, which one do you think under the Constitution takes precedence? The judiciary. So why would we waste the time, effort, energy, and taxpayers' money in investigating a matter that the court might even overrule? So I think moving forward, when we bring a matter that is in court, it does not stop us from looking into it. But we must refrain from a prayer that says we should investigate. Every other prayer can still stand. So that's what I believe.
Yes, sir, I agree with you, sir. And whatever your opinion is in the chair,
yes,
of course, is what prevails.
Yes.
And you are being very reasonable, sir.
Yes.
Apart from the supremacy of your opinion,
yes,
you are also being reasonable.
Yes.
And that was why I said that let us only delete that particular prayer of going to investigate a matter that is already being investigated by the judiciary. Just that part of it. But other prayers which we have passed on that day and are not injurious either to the Constitution or to our proceedings here, sir, let's allow them.
Yes. We do not want to, there's something, we do not want to act in futility.
Yes.
The court will now say no, and then you have just wasted 2-3 weeks investigating.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Leader,
Honorable Luke.
let's do it this way. Remove investigation.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Onofiok Luke, 18 and Nsribom Srubium Federal Constituency of Akwa Ibom State. Mr. Speaker, in line with the position that you have just given a direction from the chair, and in line with the submissions of the House Leader, coupled with the position of Honorable Bamidele, we cannot act now on a document that we don't know the content. The resolution of this House on that matter is not before us. And so members will not be guided on which resolution we would take a decision to rescind. It is only by way of notice, when we would have been well versed with sufficient fact on the resolution of the House in the said motion, that we can now take a decision on the particular resolution we are going to rescind. So on that basis, Mr. Speaker, I move a motion that the matter by Obubune should come by way of motion on notice in the next sitting.
Sir, he has asked for suspension of our rules, which we did. He has asked for suspension of our rules, which we did here.
I want to read the rule, Honorable Luke. I want to read the rule of the House. It says it shall be out of order to attempt to reconsider any specific question upon which the House has come to a conclusion during the current session, except upon a substantial motion for rescission. So your position actually contradicts the rules. The rule says you can actually suspend it. It doesn't have to be a substantive motion. We expect it to be a substantive motion, but if the circumstances require that we suspend, then we will take it. Now, in this particular case, it is possible for the mover of the motion for us to look at the questions. They can read, even the clerk can read the questions that we put, and then we can determine. We don't really need the document.
No, but in this case, sir, we have suspended the rules.
And so what you are, wait, let me ask you, let me say something. If you get even the leader's point, what you are saying now, because we have put the question and we have carried it, and the man has moved his motion, what you are now asking for is another motion of rescission of that earlier question.
Yes.
That's what you're asking for.
Yes.
And you cannot do that based on your argument. You have to do that on notice.
Oh, yes.
Mr. Speaker, sir, Mr. Speaker, sir, I think in law, there is a saying that we should not allow technicalities to defeat the very... Mr. Speaker, in law, we said we should not allow technicalities to defeat the merit of a matter.
Honorable Jah.
Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Jah, Speaker is calling you to order.
Mr. Speaker.
Speaker said you should.
Mr. Speaker, the issue would have been very clear and straightforward if we were to take a decision to rescind the entirety of the position of the House that was taken in the motion as a whole. But we are now going to do selective rescission. Not the rescission of the entirety of the motion, but on certain clauses, on certain prayers that were said. It would have been a straightforward matter, Mr. Speaker, if we said, oh, we rescind the entirety of our decision in that motion as a collective. But from the guiding of the chair and from the position of the leader, we are only going to take a decision on one item to rescind our decision on one item, not on the entirety of the motion. That is why I am proposing that we need to be guided, we need to see the position, and then know that, okay, on this one, this is the one that we are deleting, this is the one that we are rescinding our decision on it. So those are my humble submissions, Mr. Speaker.
So if that is given to you in the next 1 minute, we'll be in line, right? If the document is given to you in the next 1 minute, what happened last week?
Honorable Zachary.
We'll be in order.
Honorable Zachary, take your seat.
Okay. Honorable Bamidele has also raised a very good point, but the question is that do we want to expand the meaning of fair hearing? Honorable Munir, what do you have to say about all of this?
Mr. Speaker, first and foremost, you see this house is a house that seems to be fair and just to everybody, no matter the tribe, color, or religion. But I want to amend it. I want to align with what Honorable Dogwa has said. I know the reason why he has done that, because Honorable Alasan is a kingmaker in Rano Federal Constituency, and anything he does outside something against the motion, then he will be out of the Sardauna of Rano. So, Mr. Speaker, as I said earlier, we had a case, two cases, in the same Kano state of Abdul Malik Tanko with the two others who killed a 4-year-old girl.
Yeah, no, I mean,
yes, what I'm saying, I'm coming, Mr. Speaker. Then you have another one. State versus Abdurrashid Awalu, also a 23-year-old, who killed a 10-year-old, the same by kidnapping. So I want us to merge all the three murders, to align them, even if we are going to condole these families. Because there are three murders we are talking about, and very sensitive to the people of Kano State and Nigeria. And then also to remove, the body of the motion says to investigate, need to investigate. We remove that. And then also, as I said, in the case of this 4-year-old, justice has been done and convicted somebody within 3 to 4 months. To commend the police and the state government, I have no problem with that, because these are the issues.
So, Manir, are you now coming from amendment?
Amendment.
You stepped
Just
down
amend-
decision. So you have stepped down decision.
Yes, I am stepping down the
rescission.
Whole body of the motion to be rescinded. Yes. So it's just to amend to accommodate even those that have been killed by the previous.
The only way to the question has already been put. That the question has already been put, and the House has taken a decision. Cannot be an amendment. It can only be by way of rescission, because the question has already been put. It's been filed. It's been that was last week. We cannot amend something that was done last week. We have to rescind
and amend. We can rescind and amend.
You have to rescind. I don't see any provision in our rules for rescission and amendment. Rescission is rescission. Rescission is removing something. So you cannot, something that has not been debated, a question has not been put on, we cannot rescind and then bring new, like you are trying to do now, Honorable Munir. Like you are trying to do now, you are trying to bring 2 other murders into the picture of a question that has already been put last week. That is no longer a rescission. That's an amendment, because you are introducing new things. So is it that we do a rescission and then maybe tomorrow you bring a fresh matter on those 2? I don't see how we can merge them. Unless you ask us to suspend our rules and just do what you want us to do, and that will not depend on the House.
Mr. Speaker, sir.
For rescission,
Mr. Speaker,
not
sir.
for amendment.
Mr. Speaker, sir. Please, Mr. Speaker, sir, I would like to still beg the House, through you, sir, that I hope you can understand the 2 points at the polar ends between Manir and Ruru. And I want to say very reluctantly to say that the matter has degenerated into a local issue there. I don't want to bring on the floor here. Let us please, in the spirit of togetherness, like I've always said, bring the 2 ideas he's talking about, merge them, so that the House now will compel the 2 of them to work on the same page. By doing that, it will save a lot of local issues there. The same motion of the room, which he intended to kill and rescind, and now agreed to step down and even accept the motion and make amendments. Let the 2 of them lie on some motion, so that we have now created not only an amendment, but we have made peace between them. Please. So let's suspend the relevant rules here and allow him make amendments, sir, and take the motion as one and same. And let me see what trouble they will go back to Kano to foment about.
All right, so it's almost like we're introducing what we do in bills, repeal and reenactment. All right, so you have moved, I'm just going to take it that you have moved for suspension of our rules to repeal and amend. Suspension of our rules to allow us to rescind and amend. It now depends on the House whether we want to suspend our rules.
Sir, we are not rescinding, sir. We are only amending, sir. We are not
amend.
Amend, sir. Ibn Munir, sir, has stepped down his intention to rescind. We are not rescinding, but we are making amendment on a motion that has earlier been passed.
So what you are asking, Honorable Munir, is the rules, our rules do not provide. Our rules do not provide for amendment of a matter that has already been taken and a decision has been made. All our rules provide for is rescission of such a matter. Our rules do not provide for rescission and amendment. So what I think we can do is to ask that we suspend the rules to now allow for what it does not allow. Well, put the question. No. Wait. No. that suspension, that Honorable Luke, when you suspend, Honorable Luke, when you suspend the rules, you are suspending it for that moment. And it will now depend on the circumstances, on the reason why we should do what we're doing. So, no, we have to move on. It's 1:30. We'll put the questions. No, we're not making new rules. We're not making new rules. We're not making. We are just taking the leave of the House to bend our rules, if you want to put it that way. A rule. So Honorable Munir has moved that we rescind and amend. That we rescind and amend the decision taken last week. Honorable Buba.
Hello.
Honorable Luke has come to
I'm Yusuf Buba Yakub. I represent Gombe Home Federal Constituency from Adamawa State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion moved by Honorable Munir to rescind and amend. I rise to second the motion moved by Honorable Munir. I so second.
Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Honorable Munir, so what is your, we have this in there, what is your amendment to that decision? Now, that's it. Your amendment, let me, you've done it earlier, so we'll move fast. Your amendment is to merge the two other murders, to allow for the House to set up a delegation where we go and visit, and when they go and visit, they should include those two other murders. That is your amendment, and that we also delete the part of investigation. So those are the two amendments, right? So those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Those in support of the motion as amended, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Wolf. Everybody is charged up today. It's a diplomatic session. Yes, look.
Mr. Speaker, sir, please, I want to draw our attention to something that we have just done now, which has served as a precedent, which I believe that the institutional memory, which is the bureaucracy led by the clerk of this legislature, have taken note that we have made rules by what we have done, and that in some other time that we can still come by way of rescission and amendment. Let it be that we have written and we document it, that if we have a motion to bring before the House, we can now come, we have a precedent, sir,
All
that
right.
we can now decide to come through the back door. That is what we have done, sir.
All right. Let me very quickly address that and make myself abundantly clear. For the records, we have not set a precedent. That what we have just done stands on its own because of the special circumstances. It is not a precedent. Now, let me tell you, you are a lawyer. You are a lawyer. You are a lawyer.
Honorable colleagues, please, can you listen in silence?
Do you remember the ruling of even the Supreme Court in Amechi's case? I'm sure, the leader, you remember the ruling of the Supreme Court in Amechi's case. What did the Supreme Court say? The Supreme Court said, because they did something novel in that case, and they said it should not be taken as a precedent, that it stands on its own, that that particular decision, go and read the Supreme Court judgment in Amechi's case, or after Amechi's case, when something else came up similar, they said, no. That decision in Amechi's case cannot be used as case law, that stood on its own. And that's exactly the position that this House has taken.
It's a political solution. It's political solution.
Hmm? Honorable Luke, to be even clearer, let me refer you to Order 1, Rule 2 of the House Rules. Order 1, Rule 2, it says that in all cases not provided for hereinafter, or by sessional or other orders, precedents or practices of the House, once that is not provided for, like what we just did was not provided for, it says the House shall by resolution, the House shall by resolution regulate its procedure, that particular procedure that we just did. And that's what we just did, by procedure. Luke, the House has missed you. We haven't seen you in a while. And now you have made your presence felt. Well done. Well done. Honorable members, the business of the day is presentation of 2 bills. And I invite the clerk to read their short title.
Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members. Office of Budget Management of the Federation Bill 2022, first reading. Nigerian Content Program Contract Science, Engineering, Technology and Innovation Establishment Bill 2022, first reading.
The first order of the day is the third reading of a bill for an act to repeal the National Lottery Amendment Act number 6 of 2017 and enact the National Gaming Bill to regulate the operations and business of gaming in Nigeria and enhance revenue generation for the government of the Federation, to complement the funding gap of the Commission and for related matters, stand in the name of the House Leader. Honorable members, we recall that the House adopted the report of the Committee of the Whole on the bill on Thursday, 30 June 2022. I therefore call on the Leader of the House to remove that the bill be read a third time. Leader, your attention is needed.
Leader of the House.
The first order of the day.
So sorry, Mr. Speaker. I was still busy trying to make peace, to make sure peace prevail at the local level. And I thank the House and the Speaker, sir, for a really intent. Oh yes, thank you. Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members, I rise as directed by the Right Honorable Speaker to move that a bill for an act to repeal the National Lottery Amendment Act number 6 of 2017 and enact the National Gaming Bill to regulate the operation and business of gaming in Nigeria and enhance revenue generation for the government of the Federation, to complement the funding gap of the Commission and for related matters, HB 1288 be taken the third time. And Mr. Speaker, if you allow me, for us to save our legislative time, I will go ahead, sir, by your leave, to take item 2 item 2 simultaneously. Mr. Speaker, I once again move.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I remain Honorable Ndodi Godwin Delubelu, and I represent the good people of Anocho Shimilifera constituency. I'm from Delta State. I rise to second the motion moved by the House Leader for Bill number 1 and Bill number 2. I so second.
Honourable members, the question is that the two bills be read a third time. Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Clerk, please read the two long titles.
Right Honourable Speaker, honourable members. A bill for an act to repeal the National Lottery Amendment Act number 6 of 2017 and enact the National Gaming Bill to regulate the operation and business of gaming in Nigeria and enhance revenue generation for the government of the Federation to complement the funding gap of the Commission and for related matters. Third reading. A bill for an act to provide for establishment of Federal College of Horticulture, Okigwe, Imo State, and for related matters. Third reading.
The two bills read the third time and passed. Third order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principles of a bill for an act to provide for the establishment of the National Religious Harmony Commission and for related matters, standing in the name of Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila and Honorable Abubakar Hassan Fulata. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Tuesday, 24th November 2020, and now invite Honorable Fulata to move that the bill be read a second time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. I am Abubakar Hassan Fulata. I represent Berniwa, Krika Sama, Guri Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Jigawa State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I move that a bill for an act provide for establishment of National Religious Harmony Commission and for related matters, House Bill 1103, be read the second time. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Deputy Whip.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Nkiru Kaunye Georgia is my name. I represent the good people of Isugu Atomologies Federal Constituency. I am from Abia State. I rise to second that the bill for an act to provide for establishment of the National Religious Harmony Commission and for related matters be read the second time. I so second.
Just for the question. Those in favor, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Clerk, please read the long title.
Right Honourable Speaker, honourable members. A bill for an act for establishment of the National Religious Harmony Commission and for related matters. Second reading.
Bill is referred to the Committee of the Whole. The fourth order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principles of a bill for an act to prohibit late payment, unemployment of workers' wages, pensions, and other emoluments in Nigeria, and prescribe penalties for violation and for related matters. Standing in the name of Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Wednesday, 3 July 2019, and I invite Honorable Abubakar Hassan Fulata to move that the bill be now read a second time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, I am Abubakar Hassan Fulata. I represent Berniwa, Krika Sama, Guri Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Jigawa State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I move that a bill for an act to prohibit late payment, unemployment of workers, wages, pensions, and other emoluments in Nigeria and prescribes penalty for violation and for related matters, House Bill number 7, for second reading. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Isiaka, you want to second?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Distinguished honorable colleagues, Isiaka Ayokunle Ibrahim, for Ewekuro Federal Constituency, I'm from Ogun State. I rise, Mr. Speaker, to second on the bill as simply read out by Honorable Fulata on the bill for an act to prohibit late payment, unemployment of workers, wages, pension, and other emoluments in Nigeria and prescribe penalties for violation and for related matters. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, I don't know if I know Honorable Isaka is a co-sponsor. I don't know if Honorable Isaka or Honorable Fulata will want to lead. Okay, lead. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable members. I think in the light of the circumstances, traditionally what we normally do by procedure, that when you have a bill yourself, you yield the seat to the Deputy Speaker to take over and preside. And the fact that you are 2 in 1 today, the Speaker, and of course Femi Bajabiamila, the mover of this very important bill, I would like to also apply the same wisdom that we suspend our relevant rules and tradition to allow your co-sponsor to argue it on the floor, or we can even do the all-important concession, that is an all-important bill, that after the establishment of the bill and secondment, we just allow it go without even being debated. But if we must do that, then we suspend rules and allow someone to debate on your behalf. I therefore move that our relevant rules our relevant rules be suspended
to suspend.
To
Okay.
allow for, yes. Thank you.
Okay, well, instead of suspending, we'll just put the question. Those in favor, please say aye. Those against, say nay. Ayes have it. No, I said instead of suspending, we'll just put the question, yeah. Clerk.
Right, Honorable Speaker, honorable members. A bill for an act to prohibit late payment, unemployment of workers' wages, pension, and other emolument in Nigeria and prescribe penalties for violation and for related matters. Second reading.
Honorable Jha, you had a question. You can see Honorable Isiaka. I think he has some. He might be able to. You saw that. Okay. Bill referred to the Committee of the Whole. The fifth order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principles of a bill for an act to provide for the ease of doing business, to ensure transparency, efficiency, and productivity in Nigeria and for related matters, starting in the name of the House Leader. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Tuesday, 22nd June 2022, and I invite House Leader to move that the bill read the second time.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, my respected colleagues. I remain Honorable Ado Dogwa, Mr. Speaker, representing Chudunwada Dogwa Federal Constituency. I am from Kano State. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I rise to move that a bill for an act to provide for ease of doing business, to ensure transparency, efficiency, and productivity in Nigeria and for related matters, HB 2015, be taken the second time. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I so respectfully move. Thank you.
Honorable Olanrewaju, please second.
I am Honorable Ibrahim Kunle Olarewaju. I represent the entire people of Moba, Idosi, Legimeji Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I rise this afternoon to second the motion ably moved by the leader, Mr. Speaker. So moved.
I think this bill is clear unless somebody wants to speak against it, so we'll just put the question. Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Clerk, long title.
Right, Honorable Speaker, honorable members. A bill for an act provide for ease of doing business to ensure transparency, efficiency, and productivity in Nigeria and for related matters. Second reading.
Yes, the clerk just pointed my attention to the title of number 4. Please take out unemployment. It's late payment of wages. There's no unemployment there. Thank you. Okay, we'll note that as well. This bill is referred to Committee of the Whole. Sixth order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principle of a bill for an act to amend the Evidence Act, Cap E14, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, to bring its provisions in line with global technological advancements in evidence taking, which shall be applicable to all judicial proceedings in or before courts in Nigeria and for the matter, stand in the name of Honorable Ifeanyi Moma and Honorable Ozurigo. Other members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Wednesday, 23rd June 2022, and I invite Honorable Moma to move that the bill will now read the second time. Your mic.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. Honorable Ifeanyi Moma, I speak for the people of Ihiala Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I hereby rise to move for a bill for an act to amend the Evidence Act, Cap E14, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, to bring its provisions in line with global technological advancements in evidence taking, which shall be applicable to all judicial proceedings in or before courts in Nigeria and for related matters. House Bill 2019. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Sada, sorry. Honorable Sada, sorry. Do you want to second? Oh, Honorable Zurigo is there. I didn't say you. Sorry. Don't worry. The co-sponsor is here. Please second.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. Mr. Speaker, you can see I'm looking younger now. That's why you did not recognize me.
Yes, he just came back from Canada.
Mr. Speaker, that is another diplomatic decision.
Right, honorable Speaker,
it's another parliamentary diplomacy.
Right, honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues. My name is Honorable Gono Ziribu. I'm from Imo State. I represent the good people of Unkwere, Isu, Wangalanjaba Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm a co-sponsor of this bill, and I rise to second the bill as moved by Honorable Ifeanyi Moma. So second, Mr. Speaker.
Is there anybody that wants to speak against the bill? Honorable Kuya, you want to speak against the bill? What is it?
Yes. Mr. Speaker, my name remains Ademorin Aliu Kuye. I represent Shomolu Federal Constituency. I'm from Lagos State. By calling, I'm a lawyer and I'm supposed to have the court. Mr. Speaker, the Evidence Act of 2004 has already been repealed and replaced with Evidence Act of 2011, which is now part of the laws of the Federation of Nigeria. Is there 2011 Evidence Act is what we have now. We don't have 2004 Evidence Act. And therefore, they are asking for the repeal of a law that has been repealed.
From my understanding, they're asking for an amendment, not a repeal. No, but we have but we have a subsisting amendment. It has been repealed and reenacted, the one you're talking about, right? So perhaps, where I'm going is this, perhaps this 2004 is merely a typo. So maybe what they're trying to amend is the 2011. So the question is that what they are trying to amend, is it reflected in the 2011? If it's not, then they are in order. So I think it's just a typo. It meant 2011. Chidi. Okay, are you still on your feet? Go ahead.
The new Act, the new Evidence Act of 2011 has taken cognizance of these technological advancements in the production, in the tendering of evidence in court. In fact, it has increased the number. If you look at the new Evidence Act, it now has 15 parts as against the 10 parts that. Yes.
Queer. The question of global technological advancement is very broad. So the question we should be asking is that the specific, what they're specifically trying to amend, is it part of the 2011 Act? You don't know that because we don't know. I think it's best, first of all, to ask Honorable Chidi, what is the exact provision that you are trying to amend? And then we find out if that particular provision is in the law already, as opposed to a general global advancement. Honorable Chidi, what specifically are you trying to amend?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I want to appreciate Honorable Kuye. Actually, like you said, it was a typographical error. It's supposed to be 2011 E14. Basically, Mr. Speaker, you know, in the criminal justice system, when you tender evidence, there are two main considerations. That is the admissibility of the evidence and its relevancy. That's admissibility and relevancy of the evidence being tendered. So basically, the defect this amendment is trying to cure is to further enhance electronic mode of evidence when it comes to admissibility and its relevancy. And secondly, if you electronic